Hey guys, it's AJ. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching me and Mr. Vuitton. Today I'm here to just sort of make a return to YouTube. I took a couple of months off from making videos because, I don't know, I just really wasn't feeling it with everything that was going on. And, you know, the end of the year, there's just a lot of other things taking up my time. And so I just didn't really have the time to dedicate to making videos. And I sort of wanted to just reevaluate the direction that I wanted to go with my channel in terms of what I want to focus on for filming content. And I really just decided that I think what I'd like to do is stick to reviews and like my thoughts and ideas on certain luxury handbags that I own. Just because I do enjoy doing reviews, and I always find that reviews or like wear and tear videos are really, really helpful when I'm looking at purchasing a new item, a new handbag or SLG or something like that. So I think what I'm gonna do is focus just on reviews, and I may do like small bag collection videos, like my whole Louis Vuitton collection or my whole Coach collection or that type of thing, but I'm not gonna do like a huge, here's all my handbags collection, just because I find that they just are a little overwhelming, and I don't really want to come across as if I'm just showing off all the things that I have and none of them mean anything to me. So basically that's sort of the direction that I want to go in at this point, is to just stick with doing topical videos on certain items that I own, and in the hopes that they'll be helpful if you're either looking to purchase one of those items, or you know, you're between a couple of different handbags or items and you're trying to make that decision, or just to learn more about a particular luxury handbag or SLG and learn how it's worn and you know, how well it's held up over the years, because some of my SLGs especially I've had for quite a while. So with that being said, the first video that I thought I would do as sort of my return to YouTube is on a bag that I think is going to be really big in 2021. Because I've seen it just on a lot of people's wish lists, and I think it's just sort of due for a, like a, you know, rejuvenation, because it's such a classic bag, and I really think that it is going to be popular. So what I thought I would do is do sort of just a discussion comparison on the Louis Vuitton Alma MM versus the PM. And I've owned both bags. I don't currently own the PM. This is the Louis Vuitton Alma MM. But I've owned the PM, I think at least twice, if not three times. I think twice. Both in Damier Ebene. So I can really give you my input on the PM. And I also do have a what fits in my bag and a review on the PM if you're interested just in that size. I'll link that in the description box because I do have a video on that exclusively. But this is going to be sort of my thoughts in comparison now that I own the MM and I've used it quite a bit compared to the PM, and which one I would recommend. So with that being said, we will get started. So this is obviously the beautiful Louis Vuitton Alma MM. It is in Damier Ebene canvas, and I purchased this bag from Yogi's Closet. It is, I believe, a 2014 handbag, but as you can see, it's pretty much in immaculate, like new condition. It had a few scuffs along the bottom, which I was able to lift with a gentle baby wipe, and just a little bit of pressure with my fingernail. That always will usually take those white scuff marks off of the treated Damier Ebene leather. But anyhow, so I purchased this off Yogi's Closet. I have owned this bag before, and I sold it fairly quickly after I bought it a few years ago, just because it was handheld, and I think at the time I had a lot of other handheld bags, and it just wasn't working for me, and it wasn't speaking to me. So I did sell it, and I'm sure at the time I probably was trying to put the money towards a different handbag or something, so I parted with the MM that I did own. I owned it in Damier Ebene and in Monogram, actually. But then this one had been sort of, I kind of went through a phase like a few months ago, probably like in August or September of this year, or I'm sorry, of 2020, where I really wanted to add back some just straight like OG Louis Vuitton canvas pieces to my collection, because I had my Chanel bags and I had some contemporary designer handbags. I had my Givenchy Antigona. and my Louis Vuitton Artsy MM in the Empreinte leather. But those bags, I just wasn't reaching for. The Givenchy Antigona, I love that bag. I still think it's such a classic, and the silhouette is so beautiful. But it's extremely heavy because it's such thick leather. And so I just wasn't reaching for that because of its weight. And then also I had the Empreinte Artsy in the color Neige, which is, I may have said noir before, but it wasn't. It was white. It was like an off-white color, and it was beautiful. But I just really never reached for it because even though it was pre-owned and I had gotten a really good deal on it, I still was just scared to death to get it dirty or to have color transfer or to have something get on it or mark or something. So those two bags were just ones that I loved them to look at, but functionality wise, I just was not reaching for them. And so why keep bags that you're not going to reach for? So basically I sold those two bags and put the money towards two straight up Louis Vuitton good old canvas pieces. This bag, and then also I purchased the Louis Vuitton Galliera GM in monogram canvas from Fashion File around the same time that I bought this, which I normally will never buy two bags at the same time, but I had sold the other two, you know, kind of around the same time period. So I'll do a video on the Galliera too. That's on my list to do because I have a lot to say about that bag as well. So stay tuned for that. But today we'll focus on the Alma. So this, of course, is the beautiful Damier Ebene. As I said, I love this bag in Damier in the PM or the Alma, or I'm sorry, in the MM. I think that it's just gorgeous and so classy. And the best part is it's just totally worry-free. I've worn this on days when it's been snowing. I've worn it days it's, you know, started raining when I've come out of work. And it's just totally carefree, no muss, no fuss. You don't have to worry about it spotting or getting damaged in the rain. Between the two, I'll just say right now, I definitely prefer the MM for my frame. I am 5'10", and this bag definitely is better for me in terms of size. I like that it's a little bit wider at the top. The PM's like feels like it tapers more, you know, as it goes up towards the top, and it's definitely just harder to get in and out of to me, but it still holds a lot. The PM does. And as I said, check out my other video just talking about the PM because I go through what all fits inside that bag, and it's actually quite a bit for the size. The other thing that I really, really like about the MM is the drop of the top handles. You definitely could put a shoulder strap on the MM by just clipping it onto these. The PM has the little loops, you know, on the opposite sides of the handles so that you can, you know, it's designed to have a shoulder strap attached. The MM, you could do that and just clip it onto the metal pieces. I haven't done that. I don't foresee myself doing that. But it definitely is doable if a shoulder strap is like a make or break for you, but you want the bigger size. The MM obviously holds quite a bit more. I always put my organizer for my Speedy 30 down inside, and it fits perfectly. PM would probably fit like an organizer for a Speedy 25. So that's kind of like the two size differences, I would say. But this bag just holds a ton. It has the gorgeous red interior. And then this one does have the two pockets there on the sidewall, which I don't ever use. But it holds really quite a bit. As you can see, it's a really good sized space. I love that it holds its structure. Between the PM and the MM, the other thing that I really, really like that I didn't really realize until I actually bought a PM off of Fashion File at the same time that I bought this bag afterwards, like as the PM was in shipment. So I had them both at the same time, and I think if I can find it, I will insert a couple mod shots of me holding both in each of my arms so that you can see the size differential. But this bag just looks a lot better on my frame. If you're a more petite person, I would go for the PM probably, but I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, a more petite person rocking the MM just because I think it's gorgeous and it's such a classic shape. But the MM has a lot longer drop for you to hold the bag on the crook of your arm. And obviously this is a hand carry or crook of your arm bag only. So that was one of the main selling points for me when I was comparing the two and I had them both in my possession. is this one fits really comfortably to the crook of my arm and my elbow. You know, even with a coat on, it goes up my arm. The PM for me is just like right at my wrist. And so that was one of the things that really kind of sealed the deal with the MM, because I like having that extra bit of strap drop on the handles to get it up to the crook of my arm. It just is a lot more comfortable to me. So anyway, those are sort of like the main things that I noticed between the MM and the PM in having owned both. And I use my PM quite a bit. I always used it with a shoulder strap just because of the handle drop issue that I could never really even get it past like my wrist. But so I did always use it with the shoulder strap. It held everything I needed. It does hold quite a bit for the size of bag that it is, but I just find, and I found this time, that the MM really is the way to go for me in terms of the size and in terms of, you know, just some of the functionality pieces of it, of its size. The other thing to note is that the PM Louis Vuitton Alma is, I don't believe that it's discontinued, at least in Damier. I believe it's still available on the website. The MM is currently discontinued. I don't believe that there's any left in the United States. Maybe if you get lucky, you'll find one. But I think it's totally off of the Louis Vuitton website and it's discontinued. So if you're interested in the MM in either Monogram or Damier Ebene, the pre-loved route is the only way that you'll probably be able to go for either of those bags. So that's just something else to note, is the PM is available still currently as a current style. The MM is not, from the last research that I did. So with that being said, I hope this has been slightly helpful to you. If you have any questions between the two that I've missed or that you would like to know the answer to, please let me know. I'll try to answer the questions as best I can without having the PM in my possession. You can look up dimensions online, like on the Louis Vuitton site, in archives, or on Fashion File, or on a pre-loved site. But for me, the MM definitely has been a real treat to own, and I think it's just such a classic bag. It's never going to go out of style, and it's one of those bags, especially in Damier Ebene, that you can wear with so many different things, with jeans, with dressy outfits, and it just looks fabulous. So yeah, that is my take on the two. You can't go wrong with either size, really, in my opinion. It really just matters, you know, how much you carry, how much you would like to be able to carry, and also what your preference is in terms of, you know, your build. If you want to be able to have a shoulder strap, definitely go with the PM. If you don't really care about that, but you're, you know, a little bit taller or larger person, and you want to be able to get the handles to the crook of your arm, then the MM probably is going to be the best for you. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you have found them helpful. In terms of, one thing I just thought of in terms of weight, this bag really is very light to start with. It's probably obviously a little bit heavier than the PM, but neither of them really are heavy, even with items inside of them, because it's the canvas. So that's another plus of having a larger bag without having all the bulk and the weight of like a leather handbag, full leather handbag. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I will be doing more review videos and thoughts on different handbags that I currently own. And I hope everyone is staying well. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and all the best to you in 2021. Take care, guys.